Okay, so if you are a Mac user, this is for you. I'm a Mac user. I love my Mac. This is how you get your Mac set up for developing packs. Now, what's awesome about the pack environment is that once we get this set up, it doesn't matter whether you're using Windows or Mac, all the instructions and tutorials and building will be identical. So that makes it really nice. Even though we're going to have a little bit of difference here, just setting up, after this point, it's all agnostic to your platform. Okay, so we're going to set up the basic tools that you need to build packs on your Mac, on your local computer. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to open a terminal window. Terminal window lets you get to your command line to run a few commands. I promise these are the only commands we're going to be running that are kind of technical, non-pack related. What we want to do is hit Command Space and type terminal. And you should see terminal applications, open it up, and that brings up our terminal window. Now we're going to be using pack related commands when we get into packs, but this is the only kind of technical stuff we're going to be doing, and you do this one time. Okay, the first thing we want to do is something that takes a while. So I've already done it on my machine just because it takes a while to download. It's a big file. It's a library of code that is required for installing some of the software. So just type in Xcode select -- install and press enter. Now, as you can see, I already have it. And if you have this already, then you're golden. You don't need to do anything more with that. Otherwise, you're going to get a couple of, prompts that say, are you sure? And agree to the terms and license agreement. And it will probably, I don't know, depending on how fast your connection is, it could take several minutes up to more than that. So don't be alarmed if it takes a while. It can take some time. Okay. Now, once we have that installed, the next thing we want to do is install our package manager. What is a package manager? What does that got to do with Coda Packs? Well, it really doesn't have anything to do with Coda Packs themselves. It really has to do with the tools and keeping the tools that we're using up to date in the future, as well as just installing them. So you don't have to go to the website and download things and run installers. It handles it all for you. So we're going to install the package manager called Homebrew. And to do that, we go to brew.sh in your browser. And on the homepage, it's right away, they give you the install script. You just copy this little clipboard, get the green check mark, and then we go to our command line and just paste it and press enter. And it's asking for my password. Now, this is my local machine password, not my Apple iCloud password, unless they're the same, which they shouldn't be. That's a security risk. You don't want to have the same passwords across multiple systems. Okay, so this is done. And now we have brew installed. I can type in brew and we get the command. So we know this is working. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to install 3 pieces of software. The first one is called NVM. Now, what is NVM? So Coda is built on Node. Coda Packs are built on Node. Node is simply an engine that processes JavaScript, TypeScript that we're going to be using in our pack development. And so we need to have Node.js it's also called Node.js. We need to have this installed on our computer so that we can run the packs and test them out. And so NVM is actually a really cool little tool. And let's go ahead and kick this off while we're waiting. Brew install NVM. What this is, NVM is called Node Version Manager. Now, Node is got a little bit of an anomaly compared to other tools. There's lots of versions of Node. So version 18, version 20, version 22. And each of those versions has a little bit different feature set. And as they upgrade things, they take out older features, they add new features. So depending on what you're building, you need to have the right version of Node. So this takes away all of that stress by letting you just use whichever version you need to use. Now, again, we're only going to do this one time. This isn't something you have to maintain or manage. So don't be alarmed or get stressed out that you need to know all these details. Now, there is one little technical thing that we have to do here, and we need to copy these 3 lines. You'll see them here in the output after you've run this. We need to copy these 3 lines. And what we're going to do is we're going to run a command on our system to add these to our system so that we can actually run NVM. So I'm going to run, and you type in the letters VIM, which is a visual editor in our command line, VIM tilde / dot bash _ profile. Press enter. Now here, if it's empty or if it has anything there, you press the letter I and then press enter twice to get yourself some spaces. And then let's go back up to the top and then paste it. And then we hit escape, the escape key, press :W for write, Q. And that's it. That's it. We don't need to go in there again. I promise you, that's it. That's the most technical we're going to get. Okay, so now I'm going to close out my terminal by hitting exit, or you can just hit the red X. And I'm going to reopen the terminal and we'll type in NVM. Okay, now I don't have it in there. And the reason is, and this is for more technical people out there who may have a different shell, as we call it, I'm actually using ZSH. So in my case, I need to open VIM / ZSHRC, paste it for my shell, and save it. WQ. All right, I'm going to close it out and let's open it up again. Type in NVM, and now I have it installed. So for most of you, it should be just the bash profile. If there's issues, feel free to reach out to me, email me, and I can help you out or post a comment on the video. Okay, so now we have NVM installed. We need to install, as I mentioned earlier, the different versions. We need to install the version that we want. So I'm going to do version 20. Oops, NVM install version 20. All right, I already have it installed. You may not, if not, it'll add it for you. So if I wanted to install version 22, I could do that, and it's installing version 22, but version 20 is still on there. And again, you really don't care about this once you've got this set up, but in the future, Coda may say, hey, we only support version 22 or version 24. And so this allows you to quickly change your node versions. And then I'm going to tell the system that I want to use version 20. And now we're telling it we're on version 20. And if I type node, I get a little node prompt which tells me that node is working. Okay, so we're almost done. We've got the kind of the big heavy hitters installed. The next one we want to do is brew install get. Get is our source control. So this is how we manage our how developers manage source control, meaning when we make changes to code, we check in those changes at different points so that we can always go back in the history. If you've seen recently, there has been some coding errors that have caused some pretty major outages. If they're using source control, which they are, I'm no doubt that they are, they can go back to previous versions of the code and see what happened. And so Git is required to work with the Coda Packs, and I'll talk more about that in later sessions. Okay, one more thing we need to install, and that is Visual Studio Code, which is where you will be spending most of your time. This is the editor. This is just like using Notepad or Apple Notes or Microsoft Word. It's just an editor. It edits text. It edits code. Works just like an editor. So that's installed. That's how fast it is. It may, again, depending on your machine and speed, things may take a little bit longer. Cool. So let's make sure we're good. So I'm going to go over to Visual Studio Code and open it up. Okay. Yes, I want to run this. Great. Now in Visual Studio Code, you are going to be using one command more than anything else. So get used to this, which is Command-Shift-P, which opens up your command window. And with Command-Shift-P, this gives you access to every single command that the system has. So if I want to do file save, I can save a file there. If I want to open a file, I can open a file down here. Now, these commands are also available in your drop-down menus. It's not like you have to use the commands, but everything that you do you're going to get used to using this command. If you want to try to find something, you use Command Shift P. So we're going to open up a terminal because a lot of our stuff in Coda Packs is going to be done through the terminal. And we are going to click on Create New Terminal. And again, if it's not there, you can type in terminal and it will be available somewhere here. And the way that this works is the more you use a command, the more often it'll be closer to the top. So it kind of learns what you use and it keeps those commands at the top. Open up our window. There it is. And now we want to run NVM. That's in there. That's great. Type in CLEAR for clear, which clears out the noise. And then we can type in node version and we're good. And now we are all set up with our Mac and you can continue on with the pack tutorial.